Well, Australians are increasingly turning their minds to how they can celebrate the holidays sustainably, opting to gift experiences over items. Joining me now is Julie Boulton, Project Manager with the Monash Sustainable Development Institute. Thanks for your time. I must say it's been an increasing trend in my family for a while. We just say we don't need things, get us something instead. How much is the trend one that's happening nationwide?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. I don't think there's any hard data on this at the moment as to how much people are spending on experiences versus stuff, because it all kind of gets lumped together as presents that people buy. But I do think increasingly, I mean, like you said, Tom, amongst my family also and amongst a lot of my friends, I know that people are turning to experiences or thinking really carefully about what it is that they're buying for their friends and family and making sure it's something that people actually want or need, as opposed to something that's just there because it's the sake of buying a present.
I guess part of it as well is there's a lot of people in smaller dwellings these days. You just think, where am I going to put stuff? So the temptation is think of something that someone would really like, but the cop-out used to be, I'll get them a voucher and they can get what they want. And I guess the other thing that could be happening this year is we know people are struggling. Rates going up, groceries more expensive. So something that's, you know, a voucher that can go to several different places, even just a weekly grocery shop, is a way of letting someone decide, do they need an experience even, or do they need to just be able to put some food on the table?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point there. And I think again, a lot of people are thinking, well, we can do the weekly grocery shop for our friends and family. We can bring part of the Christmas dinner. That kind of thing I think is really important to think about. And then there's also time. Like, I don't know about you, but I wish I had more time on my hands. And so I think, again, gifting the idea of time and saying, well, I'll come and help you out in your garden for an hour or two, or I'll take your dogs for a walk. Like those kind of really great neighbourly actions that don't cost money, but they actually show that you care and show that you understand and value the person. I think that's an awesome thing to do as well.
Reminds me of the old Father's and Mother's Day. You didn't manage to get to the shop, so you just do a little voucher book for mum or dad and hope they don't cash them in.
I
Giving
love
an experience.
I'm such
well, I'm
a
a dad
huge
now.
fan.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting till they're old enough to give me some vouchers. I'm looking forward to that. What about one tricky thing about an experience is something that someone will actually do. I think we've probably all had an experience where we go, that sounds good. When am I going to do that? So something that you don't have to necessarily book weeks out, that you can just go and do on the spur of the moment seems to be the winner there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, last year we bought an experience for my middle child, a ticket to go and see Bangara Dance Company. And the thing that I really loved about this is that we showed her a video on Christmas Day and said, hey, this is your present, but it's not coming for the next 6 months, because we had to wait for the Bangara Theatre to come to Canberra. And then when they came, we had a whole, we had the lead up to it, and then we went and saw the show and we took her out to dinner at the same time. And like, it was awesome. I think it was the build up, it was the experience. We booked it in the calendar 6 months in advance. So I think that whole package kind of revolutionizes the idea that a present is here and now. You can actually make it last a lot longer and really, teach them a little bit about what the present is at the same time, which is invaluable, I think.
The tricky thing can be for kids that physical desire to unwrap something, right? So I always find this a bit tricky with our nephews and nieces. You feel like saying, hey, the money we've been putting in your bank account since you were born is better than these, the plastic trinket you just open up. That's not what they think. How do you balance that, the desire to open something up, or whether it be Christmas Day or a birthday or whatever?
So I think you can still have small things that they open up. So, we did have I think it was a couple of books that we'd also bought for Lulu, my middle child. And so there was something that she could open. So she did have that, okay, I've got something here. But then the bigger present, like the one that the experience was the one that she had to wait for. But I agree, it is a trade-off, and it is something that you want to talk to your kids about as well. And it's all part of, I guess, learning to live in a more sustainable way, which we're all learning to still do. I still struggle with it, and I know that I should be a lot better than I am. But I think, increasingly as we have these conversations and we do it step by step, the whole world will be a lot better.
So that sounds like there's almost a cultural thing with kids. If we go back before, essentially plastic was just really cheap and widespread, kids weren't getting the volume of presents, and I guess they appreciated the quality over that. So you're thinking or hoping we get some sort of a revolution in thinking of kids. I remember growing up, the fuller your Santa sack was, the better. That was just the ironclad rule, no matter what. But then often you get out the biggest thing, and you go, oh, well, that's actually not the best present. So it's a mindset thing with kids as well. Is that kind of tricky to turn around?
I think that's exactly right. Well, we have to turn around, and if we can start with kids and start this conversation early, then they have these habits as they're adults, and it's a lot, I think, again, we're in a lot better place as opposed to this instant gratification and more is what we should be aiming for. It should be quality over quantity. I spend a lot of my days working in sustainable fashion, and it's exactly the same principle as with toys. So it's, do you really need 30 different coloured T-shirts, or do you need 1 or 2 T-shirts that you're going to wear routinely and you're going to wear them out and you're really going to love them when you wear them? So it's that thinking, having that sustainable mindset at front and centre that we want to build into every generation from now on, because we know we're running out of resources. We know that we have to change the way we produce and we consume. So I think this is a really important conversation to be having.
Big fan of the T-shirt until you get a hole in it, and that means I'm banned from wearing it outside, and it has to stay inside. Look, interesting conversations. You're assuming I'm running. That's a New Year's resolution. Look, good ideas. It might be too late for some this Christmas, but there's always a birthday coming up or next Christmas. Julie Boulton, Project Manager with Monash Sustainable Development. Thank you.
Thank you.